in order of hierarchy, no, we share yen and I say ye political party wa co-codium ha the National Democratic Congress. Like I'm going to say, Obi be the president, and the vice abetwan so president, na vice abetwan so sa enuntino ye hu say Professor Jane na no poko ajemanga bra John Dramani Mahama efa no say wombra no be vice president. Amafo bi can say, oh okay, so from the very first time ye be hu obi a and I say benya ababa and I say a woman or abegina as presidential candidate. Say beto abama no say entoma no amandisi. Any ye chire mu say pose bi kra e ba ya na onu e na odide. Can say sa position no and sa adwene na we gonna for trim no the National Democratic Congress for abe clear free ho na say say Jane Naana Opoku-Agyeman, she doesn't stand a chance say obe ba as a presidential candidate.
She stands a chance. So okay. Last week earlier this week Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics or the post be by na post not the by no bisa political parties no NDC4, who would they like to see as a 2028 flag bearer? And the person who topped that post was Jane Naana. Now, this was at a time when Jane Naana is what collapsed. UGMC. Apparently, she was doing surgery. So when it came and she was leading, people were like, we never saw this coming. So that is it. But on the side of MPP, we saw that Baumia was leading overwhelmingly. But an issue whereby and they say, okay, now our potential flag bearer is also facing health crisis because the person and also in this particular position was Emisa Arthur. Emisa Arthur is gone. We also knew or know what happened to a former president Atamel. So a the Fantis, they always lose their foot in terms of the National Democratic Congress, and it's very sad because they are really aligned with the NDC and all the central region to a stronghold of the National Democratic Congress. So based on that, now Amanfobi says, okay, now she's the apparent leader in terms of polls for the flag bearership position. What is next? And Musa Danko conduct his policy and in same bed to just say now he's getting close. News analysts from close sources say Jane Naana will not contest, which means a second person and not or your friend is saying how you do so. He is the person that is away. How you do so after how you do so at force, but then how you do so pan and see a high no akoton. So let's hear what Musa Dankwa edit Suja when we come back. We continue because this issue is very big.
If your numbers now, she's not miles ahead. So, on a constituent,
26 against 19% to pay the survey.
It's not a big margin.
But one Amoka say even 1% to cry is a huge margin.
No, I'm just making a point, sir. We are beginning.
Okay.
What would happen if we in a free more? Because we are hearing say she has no interest in going. That's what we are hearing. So we in a free more. How would the numbers realign? Would you go to the old people or go to the younger people?
Nti neje say still na the younger
listen no uyi Jane Naana free ho
ye Professor Jane Naana free ho no
that can nyina
ye Haruna Idrisu
young
ato force
young
okuje to ablakwa
young
yemfa Yewra Johnson Sedu Ketia nto nchen
Zenato
okay but no so ho
yes
Dr. Zenato Rollins se wo ha sanso papa Julius Debra enso ha nti that is our listen to youth no dominating.
I think the youth is dominating and the youth is making their voice clear.
International say Amanfobi ka na ye leader so and as Ghana for according to the polls no omodi omadwen etu mu ana mo kire say no kwasem no say omo no mo ye nkofo anko mo sefata no ombe so mo kire say opese o kire say omo nyina nkokora ana say omo ye mrantewa nti mrantewa na aka say uyi Jane Naana Opoku-Agyeman ene esiedu nketia efiwa ana
yeah so that what he's saying is that you see no based on the whole thing, Jane Naana or nya sources or nya way from close sources, Jane Naana is not going to compete. And there are two reasons why Jane Naana won't. The first one is the age. Jane Naana right now is around 73 years. If she's getting sick now NDC baby she'll be around 78. Okay, in the NDC already 78. If she wins, she becomes like the oldest president. What I say, to assume office at 78 years, which means maybe no Kobe 82 the first time in Kwan, no Kobe 82. Remember exactly. I could follow need 2 times and 81. But for her, she'll be the oldest. So that is one thing to her. And the second one is Sisia or Yari no. If this is just a physical thing and as a spiritual thing, because flag bearership position is the highest bid to the presidency. So if she's a threat, someone will take this spiritual. And you know, nyame. Ebi mu nkɔ ne saa. Obi wɔ hɔ a so wo n'anim ana sɛ ohun sɛ rival. Nti sɛ obekɔ the busuma na obeyi bibia. Na it is obey. So I think that the news just came out to say that she won't compete for 2 reasons. To make sure that woman obey her completely and obia otun ni esi ne so say opeso ye ni no apparently no obi so Madam Naana or no crown compete it in fish and Ken did the same thing. Ken always says I mean ko presidency did then ko presidency me ko di presidency I then me okay me presidency the only for him to campaign and shout say showdown because tactics. Because political party or power sana, they themselves can put you or implicate you in something a bit destroy you. Into any obeya ebedua na oduwashi when they say obiya doors any compete exactly. So that is basically how I see this.
And to say, I know if Jane no Bukwajiman is not there, to you, who do you think
is
going
to number one? Harry
they say didn't get the answer.
You see didn't get I think say after Harry Nadusu after forcing. After forcing a seeding Ketia, but a seeding Ketia has to work himself up to the top. You see, party no Obia will be Ojina, acquires a football, okay? The fact say Ronaldo the highest goal scorer and say he apparently onunkwana nunya park no so there be Obia Jina di Ojina, but a midfield and I say defense and attack. And now one more other fielding the team. So how would Ronaldo get the ball to score? So party no bia will be ojina. He said in Ketia he's good in galvanizing people and attacking the opponents. Okay, yes, but now no nya popularity kakra me presidency edi. So we need to clarify that thing clear, and we are seeing that in the new patriotic party too. With King Japan, I say King Japan number 2 because the same polls are here canon. Musa Dankwaye and King Japan is now number 2 after Baumia, well, I think 47%. King Japan is somewhere around 27 or 25%. So Baumia is really number 1. King Japan is number 2. How did King Japan went there fighting for the party? But I think that even if Ken doesn't win the flag bearership racer, the field that King Japan the attack no, and it's so solid, and you can't compare the attack position to the goal scorer. So to me, no, okay, the goal scorer may be Baumia, and the person or no attack no, King Japan, and you'll be also defended. To be our Nijinabia, so party no, in terms of the National Democratic Congress, I see Esedin Ketia to be more like the attacker. Or the man a year back to back. That's I say, and you also defended the party's values. A year. General Secretary Fifi Kwete Munia, then it will be also both attack and defense. Okudu Blackwa and Ato Forcing. Okudu Blackwa Sam, they are always exposing the rods in the other political party. So to me, based on the list, we all knew Saudi Drusu, he's tipped, okay. But then the vice, the VP, and the bear tough because the VP we are looking at Okudu Blackwa, we are also looking at a year. Ato Forcing, we are also looking at a seeding Ketia himself. But for the leadership, I think I do so. Because on the parliament, can for candidate. So he will definitely take it.
Okay, so you can say we live to see.
We live to see. So the scenario, the possible scenario is how do so as a flag bearer if Naana doesn't compete against Ebia Baumia. Okay, and now say if Naana compete, Naana versus Baumia. If Naana doesn't compete, how will I do so? Maybe against Kennedy Japan. If Baumia also fails to get it.
But still now, so more of the polls will be conducted.
Yeah, and it's just early. It's just 3 months.
Exactly.
So in the next 4 years, but then these polls no indicative of what is to come. So if you're a person at second in Japan, when you say early indicators after elections, HS and still like Baumia, you need to work your ass off. You need to try to mobilize the ground team to make sure say you can win. That is number 1. Number 2, aside from that, so no, you be winning the polls like Baumia. You also have to make sure say you have to make sure say you hold the funds and the support steady. So it will not shrink or perhaps shred away maybe 2028. So the polls is very indicative Okay, it's more like you doing a forecast, okay, predicting what will happen, indicating, so you just work towards it. So Bawumia can work his way towards it. He can maintain the solid 47 and no 3% per account because it's him and the rest. Remember, I said we be competing. So Mbabe did decline Japan figures but if Bawumia just gets 50% or 51%, he's the flag bearer for 2028.
Yeah. All right, Tintino, you ever share the echo to relieve to see.